Welcome back to Box Heads. I go by the name of Box Truck Shorty. Today, back with a new video. Y'all know how my videos are. It's organic. It's not, scripted or anything like that. For all that know, I'm not big on YouTube. I do this for my, I guess I could say my fans or the people that, want to have information, that want to start their own logistics company or just have a little bit more insight on, scaling their business and starting their logistics company. So once again, like I said, I'm not big on YouTube. However, if this is your first time watching me, all my videos are pretty much organic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on the video as well. Today, we're going to discuss kind of a topic that came up in my last video about self-employed versus owning your own business. I got a ton of DMs regarding self-employed versus owning your own business. A lot of people wanted me to break down a little bit more. What is that? What do I mean when I say self-employed or owning your own business? A lot of people thought that I was kind of taking shots at people that was self-employed versus owning your own business. I was not taking shots at anybody that's self-employed at all. Self-employed to me is like a stepping stone to owning your own business. Is simple. You can't be owning your own business without at least stepping out being self-employed. So you have to be self-employed first, then you could scale up to be owning your own business. A lot of people ask me, well, what's the difference? Isn't self-employed the same as owning your own business? They're very similar. However, self-employed means that you work and you have to actually, like, let me give you an example when it comes to box trucks. So if you're self-employed with box trucks, means that you're like an owner operator. You go out, get a truck, purchase a truck, rent a truck, however you acquire a truck, and you book loads. You take those loads on a day-to-day basis. If you book a load tonight, you take a load tonight, whenever Amazon or whoever your logistics company pay you, you get paid. If you don't work tonight, then you don't get paid. So that's self-employed. Self-employed is if you don't work, you don't get paid. When you're not working, you're not getting paid. If you go on vacation, you're not getting paid. Owning your own business is a little bit different. You self-employed in a sense, but owning your own business means that when you're not working, you still get paid. Like if you're on vacation, you still get paid. Tonight, if you don't feel like doing anything, your business is still moving. Your business is still generating money. So that's when I explain to people about there's a difference between being self-employed and owning your own business. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's bad to be self-employed. It's not bad to own your own business. However, there is a difference. And what I'm doing right now, I'm not self-employed. I'm not actually physically driving a truck, because a lot of people ask me, oh, how long you been driving? I've never driven a box truck. I drove a box truck from one side of the street to the next side of the street, literally. It's just not for me. That doesn't mean it's not for, what I'm saying, it's a bad job or something to do. It's a real easy job. It's a simple job. You're driving, at your own pace. You don't have nobody micromanaging you or anything like that. So it's a real good self-employed job, and it's a real good stepping stone job, because once you start driving and you understand the business, it would be probably sure it'd be a lot easier to scale, a lot easier to own your own business, because y'all will probably know more about it than I do about the aspects of driving a truck. However, like I said, there's a difference. I'm more on not on the self-employed, on the owning your own business aspect. So whereas if I like to vacation, if I want a vacation, then guess what? I can go on vacation and my business still moves, still runs, it still operates. Nothing stops that. As long as I have a cell phone service or Wi-Fi, anywhere in the world, I can run my business. I can control it from my cell phone. Book loads, assign it to drivers, and my business don't miss a beat. So that's basically the difference between self-employed in my book and owning your own business. So all of the people that is self-employed, guess what? Your goal should be to scale up one day and owning your own business. Somebody had a quote. I'm gonna read this quote to you that they posted. And it basically said, too many entrepreneurs are working in their business and not working on their business. That's what that's basically is stating. It's stating that too many people are working in their business and not on their business. It's okay to work in your business for a little while. Driving the trucks, it's fine, it's good money. However, you should have some kind of exit plan, or even if you want to drive, to continue to keep scaling that business. Even if you own a truck, because we already went over owning versus renting. You own it, yeah, you can make more money. Renting, you don't make as much money. But even if you own a truck, your game plan should be owning a business, not being self-employed. You should want to be being able to scale that business. If you got one truck, you can only do but so many loads a day with one truck. It's only 24 hours in a day. So you can't clone yourself, multiply yourself. So guess what? You scale that business by putting more people in a truck. It's scaling. Remember I said in the last video, scaling, I'm gonna change the game. Scaling is basically owning your own business. When we start scaling and you have to remove yourself from driving, then you can make more money by just scaling the business, and you don't physically have to be there to make money. So that's a good thing about that aspect of it. Another thing that a lot of people, so basically this video is going to be about like a lot of frequently asked questions, because like I said, I do a lot of consultations from my Instagram, which I'm a lot more active on. If y'all watching this on YouTube, I get a ton of questions, a lot of the same questions every day, a lot of new questions, a lot of good questions. And the whole purpose of my YouTube video is to help people get to the next level with logistics when it comes to Amazon Relay. I'm not over the road. I don't know nothing about over the road. I don't know nothing about other load boards. I can't tell you anything about any other load board, but I can tell you about Amazon Relay and Amazon. That's what I decided to learn. That's what I decided to master, and that's my niche. So with that being said, a lot of people that has been hitting me up basically been saying about Amazon getting an error message. When you go to apply for Amazon Relay, they're getting a message, and that message states, let me read the message. You get a pink box, you do everything right, you go apply to Amazon, and you get a message that says, you do not meet our compliance requirements and will not be able to proceed further. If you have any questions, you can click the contact us button above. So a lot of people have been getting that message from Amazon. Basically in a nutshell, what that means is that when you apply to Amazon, your authority is basically too new. Sometimes it can take a couple days. Some people are lucky, it can take a couple days. It can take 2-3 days. Sometimes it can take up to 2 weeks. It just depends on when you show up in Amazon's system. Your authority is active. So it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong or something's wrong with your authority or anything like that. However, there is ways around it. Once again, I'm in the consultation business, and you can research it yourself, or I can help you. You can book a consultation. I can definitely get you, around that in a lot shorter time. But there is a little method, a couple little shortcuts to cut down that time from 2 weeks, 3 weeks to getting you to apply. Like I said, you can do it yourself, but my time is money when it comes to me. So if you want my help, I can help you with that. However, a lot of people has also been applying, and they'll get to that point once they get past this screen where they'll get stuck in a holding pattern with Amazon. When you get in that holding pattern with Amazon, they'll tell you that they're going to give you a phone call, right? So when they say they're going to get that phone call, however, guess what? It's 2021. A lot of people have what on our phones? We have spam blocks, or something to stop from, telemarketers from harassing, calling us, bothering us all day. So when you apply to Amazon, make sure you cut off that spam block. Whatever your provider is, T-Mobile, Sprint, whoever you with, cut off that spam block, because what happens is they're going to call you from a private number. Your phone is going to think it's a spam or a telemarketer or a robocall, and you're never going to get the call. You never get the call, guess what? You're going to be waiting a month, 45 days, and you're going to get a rejection letter stating basically that they couldn't reach you, they couldn't verify the number that you had listed on the FMCA number, and you're going to get rejected. It's a waste of time, 45 days to 2 months just to get rejected. So when you go to apply for Amazon, that's a tip. Just go ahead and cut that spam block off your phone so you can receive phone calls from private numbers. And they're gonna call, like I said, 3 times. And sometimes they'll send you an email saying that they've been trying to reach you. And a lot of people are like, oh, they didn't call me, I didn't reach them, I didn't call you. Because you got spam block on, that's why. You never received the call. So you didn't know that they did call, but they did call. So to avoid that, just go ahead and turn, the spam block off on your phone, and save you time, save you, headache by getting rejected. Okay, another question like some of my box has asked me, when should someone consider renting versus buying a truck for a newbie? Well, of course, when you're new to logistics, you don't have consistent pay. If you're new to logistics, you should definitely rent a truck. If you don't have consistent work for that truck, don't go out and buy a truck. I kind of discussed all of this in my last video. Don't go out and buy a truck without having to work for the truck. especially if you don't have at least 15K in repairs for that truck, for breakdown and for maintenance. And if you don't have the credit to purchase a truck, so then that's when you should definitely rent a truck. All right, that's one question. Another question that a lot of people ask, well, how did I start off first? Well, of course, I didn't start off driving. Like I stated earlier, I never drove. I started off with a mentor that showed me, pretty much the game on how to get into logistics. And I kind of took his, system and added my own secret sauce to it. And here it is today. Let me go to another question that somebody's saying. Okay, so a lot of people are getting errors. Let's say, for example, when they're booking loads, they was like, okay, when they're booking loads, they do a load and say the load give you 2 hours and 30 minutes to get to a location. And you get in your truck, and a box truck, it depends on if you rent it, it can only go like 65, some of them go 70, it just depends. So say you get in your truck and you're driving and you drive straight to the spot that it's supposed to be, and you're late. You get, that orange bar from Amazon, they tell you that your load is late. And you be like, well, damn, I didn't know I was late, and I didn't stop, I didn't do anything, because I had this happen to me before. Not me personally, but to a couple of my drivers. So what you have to do is you have to understand that Amazon, when these loads pop up on the load board, a lot of these loads are not booked by a human. It's not somebody sitting at a computer saying, okay, it takes an hour to get to Macon, Georgia. And then, enter it in the computer. It's a computer booking it. So when a computer book it, they might say, Macon's like 80, 90 miles from Atlanta. They might say, hey, they book a load, they might say you can get there in 45 minutes. Well, that's impossible to get there in a box truck. You're not gonna get 90 miles in 45 minutes. So with that case, a lot of my loads, like if I don't know where it's going, like a lot of my loads are like repeat loads to Alabama, to Tennessee, North Carolina. I kind of know the areas, even though I've never been there before. I can tell you how long it takes to get there. But when we get like new loads or new places, being that the Jefferson plant shut down, or you go to a different area, I always check my loads when I get it. My loads are booked in the daytime, so, and I'll get into that in a little while too about how I book my loads. But my loads are usually booked in the daytime between 1 and 2 o'clock. So I have a chance to look at my loads. I can look and I can see how long. So what I do is I see if Amazon gave me an hour to get somewhere. I look, I put it in MapQuest. I put Amazon address in there. Then I turn around and put the post office destination in there. And I see if it says, Amazon said it's an hour, MapQuest says it's an hour and 20 minutes. Then guess what? When my driver start that route that night, I'm gonna already be on it. I'm gonna be proactive. I'm gonna let Amazon know that, hey, look, this route does not have sufficient time, and you can report that in your notes. Also, what you can do is you can request a callback in a situation like that. So as soon as your driver get to Amazon, you just request a callback and say, hey, this route does not have sufficient time. Y'all say y'all giving me an hour. This route is showing that it take an hour and 30 minutes. And trust me, a lot of times that's the issue why you're suffering and you're late on being on time. It's not that you're not on time, it's just that Amazon didn't give you enough time to make it to that route. So it's killing your score, and you don't even know why it's killing your score. You like, oh man, file a dispute. Amazon will tell you, file a performance dispute, which takes 2 weeks. And it takes 2 weeks. Guess what? For 2 weeks, they done knocked you off the early access load board. You're not getting good loads. It's a pain in the butt. So to avoid getting in that situation of having to fight, as I say, push the rock up the hill, push the rock down the hill. Be proactive when it comes to Amazon. If you see something that's not right, go ahead and spot it, call it out now. It's a lot easier. So guess what they'll do? They'll go ahead and transfer you. I forgot the company, the part of it's called, I don't know if it's DDU or whoever it is that does the scheduling. And you'll speak to a person, and then what they'll do is they'll adjust your time. Instead of it being an hour, it'll be an hour and 20 minutes, or hour and 30 minutes. And guess what? It won't count against your late performance as you being on time. So it's very, very, very important that you check your time with Amazon. Like I said, because late performance kill your score, kill your early access, chances of being on the early access load board. And as we all know, in September, Amazon used to be 90 and above early access, and then 95 and above, like super early access. However, Amazon, I don't know if y'all paying attention, but Amazon has recently changed that, I think September 13, where they changed it to now you have to have basically an 8, which is a 98 and above to have early access. That's like you basically have to be perfect, almost perfect with Amazon to stay on the early access load board. They don't give a lot of slip ups, mess up, you reject the load, you're gone. So with that being said, you need to check that time, because that's the number one thing that kill us. Like, especially once you know what's going on at Amazon. Once you've been in Amazon, the other thing that kill us is showing up to Amazon and not knowing what to do. But let's say you got past that part and you know what to do, and you showing up early, like an hour early. Or some facilities will let you get there an hour, 30 minutes early. But let's say you do get there early, right? Because you're early, now if you get in your truck, you get your gas before you get in your truck, or your gas on the way coming back, and you're driving and you're still late, that's the reason that's what's killing your score. So like I said, be proactive with Amazon. I report everything. I have my drivers report everything. You get to the guard check, you go to check in Amazon, sometimes it might be a line, it might be 30 trucks out of there. Guess what? Report that delay to Amazon. Amazon is a lot more forgiving if you're proactive with them and you let them know, hey, look, guard check delay. It's a line outside. You know what I'm saying? There's been times where the power's been out at Amazon down here, like a couple times. Guess what? I'm on the phone with Amazon telling them the power is out. You see what I'm saying? So I don't sit back and wait for them to call me, or sit back to them to send me that, the email they'll send you if you're late. Your late is severely late or critically late or whatever like that. I'll be very, very, very proactive when it comes to Amazon. Any little thing. You get to a post office, and guess what? Nobody's there at the post office. I get a question, what do I do at a post office? Somebody's like, guess what? You report it. You call Amazon, you request a call back. That's what you do. You just don't sit there and wait like a duck all night. You be proactive. You let them know, like, hey, look, I'm at the post office. Sometimes they might make you wait till your allotted time. Let's say you're supposed to be there at 2:30. You get there at 2:30 and you're supposed to leave, let's say 3:15. 3:15 come, well, 2:30, if they're not there, I have my drivers go ahead and call Amazon. So they request a call back. Amazon more than likely is gonna tell you they need to wait, see if somebody show up. What they'll do is most of the time they'll have you wait to that 3:15 mark. When you wait to that 3:15 mark, if nobody's there, they'll tell you to call them back again. You call them back at 3:15. Sometimes they might tell you, hey, we need you to wait 5 or 10 minutes. That means they might have, emailed somebody and was able to get a hold of somebody. Somebody said it might be 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes they'll tell you, hey, look, I can't reach nobody. You can go ahead and go to your next stop. So you can go ahead and, they close that stop out. They'll let you go to your next stop. And then sometimes they'll ask you, do you want to go back to the second stop? Like, can you go back? Like, if it's on the way, that's a different story. But they'll ask you, do you mind going back to that second stop? Let's say you had 3 stops. So they'll say, you want to go back to your second stop. That's up to you. They'll say, if it's on the way coming back, I'll have my drivers go by sometime. But if it's not, then you can decline and say no. Now, if you decline and say no, but this is the thing too, if you have to take it back, you can make Amazon pay you for making that trip back to that post office. Another thing you can do is call a back leg. I'm gonna give y'all a free tip. A back leg. If you get there, and let's say, for example, if you say you went to the second spot, nobody was there. You went to the 3rd spot, you delivered your package, and then now they want you to take that package back to Amazon. Guess what? In the beginning, when I first started, I was taking the packages back, or pallets or whatever it was, back to Amazon for free. Didn't know anything. Now that I know better, I figured it out. Amazon will pay you to take that load back, or that pallet, even if it's a package, back to Amazon. So it turns that regular load into a trip. Now you will have to assign a driver back to take that load back. And then that's where sometimes you'll see when I post a load, you will see the T. The T stands for trip. It turns it into a round trip. Mostly semis, do the round trips. The box truck, there's no round trip for box trucks right now that I know of. So that's a good tip right there as well. So make sure you just always call an Amazon. So that's another way you can get a couple coins. And like I said, they'll pay you. Sometimes they'll pay you $80, $100. It depends on how far you back, just to take that same package back. And it only works if you're going back in that way. Well, all my drivers live in Atlanta. We don't go out over the road. All our stuff is local. All my drivers work, here. They go out, they come back. All my drivers are home every day, so we're not over the road with Amazon, if that makes sense. But okay, that was a good question that somebody had asked. How do you book your loads on the Amazon site? So you don't book your loads on the Amazon site. All your loads that you're booking, if you're booking your loads, is booked off a web browser or the computer. You can't use the Amazon app, Relay app, to book loads. So that's why if you try to book it off that, that's why you're not seeing any loads. That's only strictly for the drivers. And when you check into Amazon to scan pallets and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with the dispatching part of Amazon. Another question is, they don't see no lows. Well, you don't see no lows, you must be watching none of my other videos. However, if you watch them, you'll know your first 3 lows, you're not gonna see no lows. It's gonna be hard. Like, it's gonna be super hard to see a load. You have to watch that load board all the time. And then if you do catch a load, because you don't have a score, it's gonna be a crappy load. So to avoid that, just use poster truck. That's what I use most of the time. Poster truck. A lot of people ask me, what's poster truck? What is poster truck? Poster truck is exactly what it says. Post a truck. You're telling Amazon the time your truck will be available, the time your truck won't be available, the minimum amount of miles you want to drive, the maximum amount of miles you want to drive, the minimum amount of dollar per mile you want to make. And of course, nobody's gonna put a maximum, or you could put like a maximum payout. So however, let's say for an example, let's say you said, okay, I want to do 100 miles. The minimum amount I want to go is 100 miles. The maximum I want to go is 200. The time my truck is going to be available, my truck to be available from 11 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning. And that you post that in the criteria of that's the time that your trucks will be available. That you already told them the minimum, the maximum. And then let's say you say, hey, I want to do $2.50. So then you can put a minimum amount of, minimum amount per mile that they will pay you, a dollar amount. And in Amazon, what they'll do is, basically what poster truck is, before that load, there's loads that they're gonna put on the board anyway. So before they put these loads on the board and it goes to the early access and then the regular board, if it meets your criteria that you have set up, it will automatically give you the load without you having to, compete with other people to go find the load. Like I said, 95% of my loads are booked through poster truck. So early access is a big deal, but it's not really a big deal for me no more because I use poster truck. So like I said, when it automatically book, it'll book your load for you automatically without you having to physically look at the load board. When I first started, I didn't even know what poster truck was. The guy who was mentoring me didn't even know what poster truck is. I'm the one that found poster truck and explained it to him. And then, poster truck have evolved a little bit since then, but people hated it because they didn't give you enough time to get to the route and stuff like that. So however, that's what poster truck is post a truck. Also a new neat feature, like I think on my last video, what I was explaining to y'all is that they have this new feature now called minimum stem time. Minimum stem time is when you book a load, Amazon won't book a load if they're not going to give you, let's say for example, if you live, like I said, an hour away from the Amazon plant. Most people are scared to do a poster truck because if they book a truck, let's say it's 11 o'clock at night and Amazon books you a load and you got to be there at 12 o'clock. You won't be able to make it in time. So a lot of people didn't like poster trucks. Like, I was getting a lot of rejections. Like, it's not giving me enough time. Or if you live an hour and a half. Now what they have, like I said, is minimum stem time. Minimum stem times allow you to post your truck, and it tells you how much time you need from the time they book you a load, like a head start. I need 30 minutes, an hour and a half, or 2 hours. I think 2 hours is the max you can go up to. Don't quote me, but I think it's up to 2 hours that you can go up to. So this is telling them that if they book your load, that's how much time you need. And that's a great feature because now it should avoid anybody getting a rejection. Another great feature that poster truck have is now when you set a poster truck, if you have a driver or even if you're driving yourself, what you can do is while you're setting up that poster truck, there's also, you can assign a driver, just like me. I have 5 trucks now. So I can go to each poster truck and assign this to this driver, to this driver, to this driver, and everybody. So now once poster truck book the load for me, it automatically goes to my driver where I don't even have to really touch it. So it really turned poster truck from, I had to watch it when it was booked, then I would have to go assign it to my drivers. Now it's kind of all automatic. So once again, that goes back to owning your own business. It kind of makes everything simple where you don't really have to do a lot of work, which is a great feature. I love poster truck, So I use poster truck all the time. Let me see, what else? Another question that people have. Oh, is there do you have to deadhead back? Yes. With a box truck, there's a lot of deadhead. I ain't gonna say a lot of deadhead, but it's a deadhead. That's why I only go out so far. Like, you gotta be able to have a sweet spot. You wanna go a little ways where you can make money, but not too far because you do have to deadhead back. So it's not like you don't wanna go 500 miles, 450 miles out, and then you gotta come back deadhead unless that load is paying a lot. So you look at it like this: deadhead Well, Amazon already paid you. Let's just say Amazon paid you $550. About $50, $60 of that is a fuel surcharge that's already in that price just to get there. So they're kind of paying you a base rate, and then they're paying you for the fuel that it would take, that they're calculating that it would take to get there, right? So then now, guess what? You're responsible for coming back. And a lot of people are like, can you pick up a load coming back? Yeah, you can. It depends on the area you at, depending on the region. If you're in the Midwest, New York, Cali. But in Atlanta is a lot. You got to think about, we in Atlanta, is within 200 miles, it ain't another major city. So it ain't really nothing coming back into Atlanta. Not say it's impossible, not say you can't do it, just saying that I don't even mess with other load boys to even figure it out. It's just too much for me. Right now, I'm trying to deal with the trucks I have. So basically, in a nutshell, I deadhead back. So if you think about it like this, just for easy math, when you're doing a route, let's just say you did, let's say 150-mile route, right? So if it's a 150-mile route, an easy way to calculate your gas is this: 150, you say times 2. So that 150 times 2, let's go to the calculator. I'm good at math, but I don't want to mess up on YouTube. So let's just say 150 miles times 2, you got 300 miles, right? An easy way, the average box truck get about 12 miles to a gallon, 11, 12, but let's just say 12. So 12 miles to a gallon. So you turn around and divide that 300 by 12, you'll come up with 25. So that's basically to get from Amazon to the stop and back, you're using 25 gallons of gas. I think right now in Atlanta, diesel is $3.09, $3.10, depending on where you go. But let's just say $3.10. So $3 times 10, basically, so you do 3.10 times 25, you're looking at $77.50. So let's break this down. Say a route is paying 550 miles. $550, excuse me. And basically, they already paid you to get there with the fuel. So on this trip, you would basically use about 70, let's just say $80 in fuel for that round trip. Is that a good route? Yeah, that would be a good route. Yeah, to me, it'll be a good route. I always, when I book a load, I always, take into account that I have to deadhead back. So that's why I don't book low routes like $100, $1.80, $1.90, stuff like that. Like I try to get $2.50 and above, $3, $3.50, that's even better. So I hear a lot of people complain, but yeah, you're deadheading back. It's just part of the game with box truck. This is not semis, it's not a semi truck. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna be able to just get a load there, smooth back, and get a dispatcher to give you a load straight back. If that's what you want to do, you got to jump in the semi game. But box trucks, unless you go over the road, then you can go here, you can go there, you can go there, you can go there. But if you're trying to be local and trying to be home every day, it ain't gonna fly like the way you think it is. So the easiest way to do it is just book loads that compensate for you to get there and back with your expenses in it. It's not bad. I'm doing it. So you just got to pick what formula will work with you. You could do two short routes, like I was explaining before about short routes. How many people ask me all the time, how many routes can you do in a day? Well, you can do how many of you want to, as long as you're under the DOT hours. However, you could do 2 short loads. Like for example, you might can go to Macon, catch a load to Macon, Georgia. That's a short load that's paying $280. Come back to Atlanta, catch another short route it might be around Atlanta somewhere. So you can do 2 short routes, or it depends on what aspect, if you're driving or if you have a driver. If you have a driver, to be fair to your driver, you need to send them out a little way so you can make some money, versus just the short route. But if you driving yourself, then yeah, you can kill them with the short routes. Let me see what else I got in here. Some more tips I'm gonna say tips, some more questions that people ask. Checking out again at your time. Back, calculating gas miles. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So yeah, that's pretty much it on this video right here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, like I always do in all my videos, I'm gonna always plug myself. I'm more active on Instagram. I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram, but this is it right here, at Box Truck Shorty. I'm on TikTok a little bit. I don't really know how to work TikTok, and I'm on YouTube. Like I post videos, but not, a lot. I post more information. I have literally every couple days I'll post loads of areas, like hot loads nationwide. So yeah, don't keep inboxing me about is there loads in my area. There's loads in every area. As long as you're on the early access board, there's always loads. So with that being said, I offer a step-by-step starter pack guide that will walk you through the process the correct way, so you won't have problems trying to get into Amazon. It's not a course, it's not no fluff. It's just strictly a step-by-step starter pack guide. It's very simple, to the point. Anybody can do it. Like I said, it costs less than $5 grand to get in the game. Peak season's coming up. As you see, the loads are going up right now. Look, check my Instagram. I also offer a 3-day ride along course. Most people do it for 2 days. They fly in town. Most of my people are from out of town, Cali, Florida, Texas, you name it. They come in town, do the 2 or 3 day driver training course. So I have everything that you need to be successful and to model my, the program that I have. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. I already have it right here for you. You can go to boxtruckshorty.com and grab it. You can go to my link tree and grab it. It's always in the description. And that's pretty much it. Once again, like I tell everybody, I'll see y'all at the top. Take care.